Welcome to Medical Field Notes, the segment where we invite our physicians, providers, and healthcare professionals to share their notes from the medical field on topics our community wants to explore. I'm Kirsten Newland, Director of Communications and Development, and I'm here with Brandon Douglas, a PA from Hillsdale Medical Associates, one of our primary care clinics. Welcome, Brandon. We're excited to have you.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Today we're going to talk about sun exposure, since it's summer and it's getting hot outside. So first, tell us, why is it good to have exposure to the sun?
Yeah, so the sun, as we're exposed, we're outside, we feel better, we're happier. It brings our mood up, it brightens our day, literally.
Literally.
Yeah. And it helps increase our vitamin D levels as well.
Okay.
So the issue is when we have too much sun exposure, we actually have damage to our skin, and that's when we get a sunburn.
Okay.
And that's when we have medical problems. The big deal is preventing that point. We can still be in the sun, we can still have a great time, but we don't want to get sunburned because you've all experienced that. One, it hurts, and it's obviously it causes the damage to the skin.
So let's talk about the short-term effect and the long-term effect. If there is maybe a mild sunburn, which happens, first of all, how should we take care of that? And then in the long-term effect of potentially, what is the long-term effect?
Yeah. So when we have a sunburn that's not like blistered up and it's just red and irritated, the big thing is to cool that area as quick as possible. Okay. So aloe is a really, really common one. Some people put it in the fridge first, so that makes it soothe a little bit. But that damage has already been done, right? But if we can get the heat out of there, we can get out of the sun, get some aloe on that sun-exposed area. That'll help us feel better quicker.
Okay.
Long-term or repeated sunburns, right? We have changes in the pigment of the skin. We can get freckles, we can get moles, we can have basically sunspots that show the damage to the skin. And ultimately, this could lead and increase our chances of skin cancer, which is the big deal, right? On top of that, we have more decrease in like the sponginess of the skin. We have like more wrinkles.
I see.
And we just damage the skin organ itself.
And then over time, that sunburn eventually kind of dies. Correct me if I'm wrong, and it kind of sheds. I know a lot of people really like to peel that skin off. Yeah. Is that recommended, not recommended? Should you just leave it alone?
So if the burn's severe enough where that top layer of skin actually dies, right? Then it could peel off.
Okay.
We just leave it be. The big thing in that case, because now we're a couple days after the burn, maybe the pain's gone away or much better. Now we want to moisturize that skin, right? Because we have that skin layer, we just damaged it. We caused that top layer to basically die.
Wow.
Right? Yeah. So now we want to put moisture on it just to help heal it.
I feel like all of my friends get this nice tan and I get burnt so easily. Why is that? Why does some skin burn more easily than others?
Yeah, it depends on how much like melanin we have in our skin.
Okay.
Which a lot of it's genetic.
Okay.
Right? So if we have different ancestral traits that make us tan easier.
Okay.
I pretty much go from white to red
and
maybe tan somewhere in there. So I gave up on trying to get that tan. But everyone's different, right? But when we get to that redness and that sunburn, that's where the big issue is. So a lot of times what we recommend is limiting the exposure, when we're in the sun, and there's multiple ways to do that. Yeah. But also when we can limit and adjust the time, like of a day that we're in the sun. So really like between 11 to noon up until 4 or 5.
Okay,
right?
wow.
So it's really the UV exposure.
Yeah.
It's not just the sun itself.
Okay.
So nowadays we have, the weather app on our phone, and we can see everything on, when it's going to be, what temperature at what time of the day. If you scroll, well, at least with iPhones, if you scroll down a little bit, it actually has a UV index, and it shows you throughout the day.
I've always ignored that.
Yeah. It shows you throughout the day when that UV is going to be the highest.
Yeah.
Right. So like, some people are like, man, I really want to be in the sun. It makes me feel happier. Yeah. It helps with my mood, maybe my anxiety or my depression. But I can't go because I don't want to get sunburned. Those people, we recommend, hey, go in the morning. Yeah. Right? Go that first morning. So when it comes out, you can be outside. You don't have to wear protection from the sun. And we can get that same vitamin D kind of conversion when the skin touches, or the sun touches our skin. Yeah. So, and then, or on the other end of the day, if it's like in the evenings, the last hour or two of daylight, we have very limited amount of UV that's coming through.
So say maybe you have to be out in the middle of the day, or that's exactly when your beach trip is.
Right.
How can we kind of have some kind of protection in place to try to reduce the harm?
Sure. So obviously sunscreen is one of the mainstays.
Okay.
Of
is there like
protection.
a certain SPF that you would recommend?
Not necessarily. Some say between like 30 and 50 if you really want to block those UV rays.
Yeah.
Obviously, the more exposed we are gradually, and we do have maybe a little more skin color, a little more tan. Some people don't need as high of a SPF.
Okay.
The big thing, especially with kiddos, when they're in the water and they're swimming and sweating and playing, is the reapplication.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So usually if it's over an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, we want to reapply.
Okay.
Right. If our skin's still wet or if we're really sweaty and we put it on there, it might just kind of bead right off.
Yeah.
You know, especially now sometimes they have the sunscreens that are sprays.
Yeah.
So those spray ones are going to bead off. So if we wait until we're out of the water, we're dried off, we can reapply. And then we give it at least like 10 minutes or so until it's kind of absorbed.
Okay.
Or else we're going to jump right back in and it's going to wash off again. So that's one of those that in theory it's ideal. It's what we most commonly use, but it's hard to maintain that, right?
Okay.
We've been at the lake or at the beach and an hour goes by like this, or you're playing around and you forget. Forget, right? So nowadays they actually have garments that actually have UV protection embedded in the fabric. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. So
that's very cool.
Yeah. So you can get like UPF shirts. They're like long sleeve shirts.
Oh,
they're like mesh like. They're not mesh, but
okay. So light, not super heavy.
It's light. It's airy. It actually keeps you cool, right?
Yeah.
And then when it gets wet, it makes you nice and cool. But it has like usually they have ratings of like UPF 50. Which is great, and that stays on as long as you keep it on, obviously.
Wow.
And you don't have to worry about reapplying, things like that. The garments themselves are nice because you can just throw it on there. You don't have to worry about what time you put it on, or if you've been in the water, or if it's going to wash off. It's on there, right? So you're protected. Great. So it's great. I love that for kiddos, right?
Yeah.
So if you got kiddos, you slip the long sleeve shirt on. I got a 14-month-old. We got a UPF long sleeve shirt with a hat. We just put a little sunscreen on his hands and feet, and he's covered.
So lastly, there are also things like sun poisoning and, getting so overheated that can have other effects. That's kind of more severe. But if someone thinks that, what are the symptoms of something that might be more severe than just a sunburn? And what should someone do if that happens?
Sure. So a lot of times what happens is when we're in the sun and we get that severe sunburn, we're actually dehydrated as well, right? Because we're out there, we're not thinking about it.
Interesting, yeah.
And we're feeling some of those red flag symptoms, or we're feeling nauseous, we're feeling weak, we're feeling tired. Maybe we get sick to our stomach and throw up. Or just kind of feel, just don't feel ourselves.
Yeah.
And the big thing we do in that situation is we get out of the sun. A lot of times it's the heat is the big thing there. We get out of the heat and we hydrate, right?
Okay.
So water, or things like with electrolytes like Gatorade or Powerade, things like that. And what that does is that just helps replenish maybe some of those electrolytes that we lost.
Yeah.
But we want to be in a cool, kind of darker shaded environment. And then, obviously if you're like, man, I'm not feeling better, I'm feeling worse, then that's why we have, we have urgent cares, we have our primary care providers here.
Yeah.
Or if it's after hours and we're really, really sick, we go to the emergency room.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. So say I get a sunburn and it's bad, it blisters, maybe something like that. A week later, it's still not better.
You call your provider.
Okay.
Right? Whether you have a primary care, or we have the walk-in, the urgent care.
Okay.
So you can be seen and evaluated and see if something else is going on.
Yeah.
Or to see like what are the next steps, or maybe I need to be referred to a dermatologist, or what's kind of going on.
If there's some long-term damage. Okay.
For sure.
Wow.
For sure. Yeah.
Thank you, Brandon.
Of course.
This has been really helpful.
Yeah.
If you have any questions for Brandon about sun exposure, put them in the comments and we'll get them right over to him for him to answer. Thanks for joining us for Medical Field Notes.
My pleasure. Thank you.
If you would like to learn more about Hillsdale Hospital, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, all of the platforms. You can listen to our podcast, Rural Health Today, at ruralhealthtoday.com. Check out our video interviews online and follow our website for career opportunities, health information, and more. We'll be back with more Medical Field Notes very soon. But until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and remember Rural Health Strong.